I'm Ian Lewis.
I'm Vinny Blood.
And I'm Simon Scott.
And this is
Razor.
Me and Simon, we watched a fantastic show called Robot Wars that came on to BBC Two.
And it was a bit of a shock, and we were well impressed, particularly with the house robots.
Just from the advert that we saw was Rob Knight up there with Mortis whacking away with this great axe, and we imagined, God, that'd be really simple. There's a nice little machine, a bit like a radio controlled car with a little axe on top. Be really easy to build. Perhaps we can give Rob Knight a bit of a sorting out.
So we thought, well, this is something we could probably do. We should get involved in this.
I was so delighted that my friends had built this new machine to go in and have a go at Robot Wars, and I made them get me audience tickets, and I was actually there, not part of the team for Series 2 but part of the audience, and right after I'd seen it I was just so impressed and enthused. I joined the team and did the website for you and everything.
Superb stuff.
Well, we came up with the concept of Razor pretty much based on the machines we saw in Series 1 and based very much on the rules. It was when we got the rules and figured that there was 3,000 psi hydraulic oil available, that was the one that did it for us.
The best way to destroy steel is actually to stick it in a press. Now, me and Simon, we thought long and hard about this. We were looking at kind of rotary disc ideas, axes and things like that. We're only going to get like a small hole, so to stick it in a fly press and actually crush it down would be much better. So the big plier idea came through.
The driving force behind Razor's terrible, powerful weapon is hydraulics. Now, hydraulics are used in many applications, such as forklifts, brakes on cars, JCBs, all those sorts of things use this powered oil, this liquid pressure running through.
The difference with hydraulics to pneumatics is compressed gas, CO2 or even compressed air. Hydraulics is a compressed liquid and you can get a lot more force out of it.
Now we want to make it look pretty terrible. So the only way to do that is to make like a big claw, if you've ever seen the talons that are on a big eagle or something like that. They look pretty bad, so why not have a big claw on top? And that's why it originally looked like a claw. Now, then we changed it to look a bit like an eagle, and it gradually developed with its wings and its look. And a lot of people don't actually see that at the moment it's got an eye in it, so it became this kind of biomechanical creature.
So the original Razor started off as a cardboard mock-up, pretty much as you see it now. The scale was there. This is so as we could slot in the components we had and suss out this gear ratio or leverage ratio for the arm. So let's show you how it works. We've got a small starter motor here out of a 500cc motorcycle. It's amazing how much power you can get through one of these, running into a gearbox and a 5-piston radial hydraulic pump. This is what generates a 3,000 psi oil pressure. Pressure runs up through a series of hoses to an exchanger block. This is what runs the hydraulic cylinder in the base of the machine in and out. The arm pivots at about this point and the cylinder rests in the base of the machine. So it's pushing and pulling the arm. This will open up to about 2 foot gap. We figured we'd get most robots in there, and it'll close, the arm will run right through the base and pretty much generates 3 tons per square inch on there. And the tip isn't really a square inch, it's a lot smaller than that, so your piercing pressure is a lot more than 3 tons. You generate about 6 tons here, and if you could get a machine right up in the back where it's about 1-to-1, you get 9 tons of crush there. Now the easiest way to explain this is perhaps with a pair of pliers. Now you see, for ordinary human being application, the handles are longer than the jaw. This is so as you can get a bit of force in on the old jaw there. But for Razor, it's sort of the opposite way round. We've got Razor's 9-ton hydraulic ram at the tips here on a 3-to-1 leverage ratio. So we've got 9 tons at this point, we're at 3 tons there. So you've got 9, 0, 9, 6 and 3. So sort of working the opposite way round. That's how we get the 2 foot sort of jaw opening here. And I think the revolutionary thing about Razor was we are literally crushing other robots on top of our own chassis. This is something I think to date that still hasn't been done yet. We've got the electronics under here, we've got the pump and the starter, and the gearbox is right in the crushing area where you'd think it would get damaged, but it's given Razor its revolutionary appearance.
Right, and the Razor's not only this great big weapon, it's also a bit of a racing car. And what I'm going to do is explain to you kind of how all that works. There's a few aspects to this. First aspect of that is the batteries. We went for 24 volts. We figured that's about enough. You're going to get enough power out of that, enough voltage. If you had 12 volts, then you're going to have very high amperage. You're going to be looking at thicker wire here. Now, this goes then through to the speedos. They can handle about 100 amps each. There's 2 cards in there. Now what they do is they link up to 2 motors, a bit like a tank track type style idea. The 2 motors are at the back here, nicely air cooled. They're only 12 volts. Now we were overrunning them at 24 volts. That's to make them spin really fast. We actually spin these motors at 6,000 RPM. They then go down through a gearbox, out into the transmission through the belts. A few people have said to us, you know, that it may be risky that we actually run belts, but belts are great. I mean, they're really flexible things. Now this thing's got a handle. The chassis layout for Razor is pretty square. You know, if you look at a car, it's quite long. The wheels are sort of arranged in a very long sort of way. Razor squares up. Now that allows the back end to skew round. Brilliant handling, really nippy. Now we finished Razor at 12 o'clock at night, and our first appearance in the show was on Series 2. We were real nervous. We got in there, we had a bit of squiffy handling, but we actually pushed Shunt right on down the end, and this started our long feud with Shunt. Great stuff.
Strange. Razor to take on Shunt and pushing him back. Now that's enormous power. Oh, what a tremendous run. That was formidable.
Our second tournament was football, which we breezed through far too easily, and then we ended up battling Inquisitor. Now the funny thing about that is the guys the night before were really worried, they're ever so nervous, and I foolishly recommended that they reverse Inquisitor into us with their flail going. And we broke down. If I hadn't have said that, they would have driven on us head on, and we could have actually bitten something that would have done some damage and disabled them. We would have gone through. So it's all my fault.
3, 2, 1. Activate.
The house robots in the PPZ, the perimeter patrol zone. The 2 competing robots don't want to go in there, otherwise they can incur the wrath of our own robots. And Razor, look at this! The favourite for tonight's heat! Destroying Inquisitor straight away with that immense crushing arm. Well, they've given up, I think, Inquisitor boys. Keith Millwood and Gavin Hatton, again, ominously, curling down, bending, destroying. Even the Sir Killalot camera moves away, worried. There's Matilda to the left. Well, Inquisitor, I think they've got no chance now. They think they've got no chance now, but what's this? Suddenly, it's alive again, Inquisitor's off! Yes, yes, run away! And Razor's in problems. I don't think Razor can move. I think they've broken down. I wouldn't come back in again. The Razor boys look worried. Leave it to the house robots. Matilda in there and Sir Killalot too. And suddenly it's Razor! Goodness me, Razor's toppled! What a turn up! They're attacking the soft, vulnerable underbelly. Razor can't move!
Cease.
And Razor is out!
After Series 2, I joined the RAZER team, and another addition was the wings of RAZER. Now, the reason for them is that during Series 2 we noticed there was so many new machines coming along with flippers and lifters, and we knew that if one of those tagged us in Series 3, we'd be over on our backs, wouldn't be able to get up, and we're out of the game. What we had to do first was lose an awful lot of weight because we were already on the edge of the 80 kilo weight bracket. So this is why all these holes have been drilled out all over the machine, 450 of them in total. After that, we incorporated these shoulders and wings, and this is actually activated by a cable which tensions right at the top of the stroke, brings the wings back out, and the robot tips over. So our first fight for the third wars was against a machine called Backstabber, and as you'll see in this clip, it was over all too quickly.
Roboteers, stand by.
So from Paul Razor, with Simon Scott, Vincent Blood and Ian Lewis with the beard there. And Backstabber, with teacher Howard Sanford, Sanjay Patel and Luke Perkin.
Activate.
And immediately Razor with that crushing arm comes in to pierce and penetrate the body shell of Backstabber, but just scratching down there. On the plating side of Backstabber, specially designed to neutralise the stabbing or cutting weaponry of other robots. Oh, but there's the power of Razor, and Backstabber in the pit immediately.
Cease.
May stop the stabbing, but can't drive. Backstabber, push backwards and into the pit of oblivion. What a shame for the young boys and their teacher. There's the power, though, and speed of Razor. And you're dumped. Razor, to take on Matilda, surely not. Well, that's suicide. Matilda doesn't want to know. Too early. Out in the tiles last night with Dead Metal.
So, having conquered Backstabber, we were up against Agrobot, another steep-sided machine and tricky to get hold of, and in the end it proved to be one of our most memorable fights.
Bit of a grudge match here. Agrobot and Razor.
Roboteers, stand by.
Agrobot first to rip the shell off Matilda, though Razor and the team of Simon, Vincent and Ian had wanted to get there
3,
first.
2, 1, activate.
Leach brothers against the firm friends of the Razor team on the attack, trying to get that crushing claw, cross between a claw and a beak, to get some purchase on Agrobot. I wonder if the shape of Agrobot will prevent that. There you can see the tongue underneath Agro. And there, purchase gained in on the side wall of the arena by Razor. You can hear a crumpling noise there, but is the damage sustained just superficial? I don't think so. No, you can see gashes there. As Razor spins away, comes in on the attack again. And now one thinks of the flame wings at the back of Agro. Now you see, Razor can gain a grip on things like that. Agrobot turning away. We thought earlier on it might be a bit of a cumbersome robot, but showing good control and bashing back in on Razor there. Steering away from the CPZs, the corner patrol zones, a little bit of flame flicks out from the corner. There's Dead Metal waiting with its huge pincers. Agro came in and nearly got the piston ram into action there, but Razor was quick to move away, and now pushing Agrobot once again. Scratching down on the surface of Agrobot, but again, only superficial damage, really. We've seen very little damage caused on Razor in the entire battle. But look at this, it's found a weak spot on Agrobot! Crumpling, tearing, rending, ripping, shredding. Is Agrobot immobilized there? No! Come spinning away! There is life in Agrobot yet! In goes Razor once again to try and claw down another scratch, but the main damage there, look! On the rear, underneath the piston battering ram, which droops melancholy now. And, well, Razor's gone up! in a pirouette of delight, and I think has immobilised itself. Were they celebrating too early? The wheels are spinning, and look at that back claw on the arena floor. It stabbed itself into submission, surely. And I think the Agrobot team can sense it, but they've got into the CPZ Agrobot. Oh dear, the Leach brothers, what are they doing? And they've been punctured there and pinned down by Shunt. Oh yes, this is what Robot Wars is all about. Killalot coming in, the sparks flying away off Razor. This is beautiful. Machinery, mangled, murderous machinations and mayhem. The sparks fly, the blades come hacking in. This is what we dream about, but for them it's a nightmare.
Now in Series 4, Razor was really beginning to shine. It was beginning to show its real true form. In the first round we had a bit of a different situation, a real driver's challenge. You had to drive round two other opponents. A bit of a melee going on there with Velociripper and Robo Chicken. Great for the laugh.
3, 2, 1. Activate.
Will this be Razor's championship at last? Quickly onto the attack, and don't count your chickens before they're shredded, demolished. The flipper's going to be no good, the boggle eye's no good against Razor. Razor already picking off the weakest of the opponents. Perhaps Ian Lewis and Simon Scott and Vincent Blood have said, well, Robo Chicken has to be the weakest. Shell and chassis sprung steel, lightweight but tough, but then look, they're now on the attack on Velociripper. And that body is steel and armour plated. Nothing will resist the 9 tons of squeezability of Razor's beak, claw, jaw, whatever you want to call that monstrous weapon. Oh, look at this Robo Chicken simply lifted aloft, taken towards the pits, or will it be towards the burning torch? Yes. You don't fancy a little bit of barbecue chicken? Well, we're not on the menu yet. Got away, I think, but look at this. What do you want, a wing and a little bit of breast? What? The smell of burning chicken in the arena. We have long dreams about this in preparation for a series. Oh, let me get back to the reality. Sorry, I was just caught in other things there, but here we go now. Razor onto the attack of Robo Chicken again. Piercing in towards the heart of the matter, the very heart of Robo Chicken. Oh, and the eyes, can they see glory ahead? No, only despair, but very nearly Razor overbalancing there. They were slightly overconfident in the last wars. Go towards that CPZ, you're in trouble, because out come the House Robots. That's dead metal. A dead end in the way of Robo Chicken. Velociripper here's got away almost scot-free. Danced around the arena, kept out of trouble until now. And a puncture mark to remind Velociripper of battle with the Razor. And now on the flame pit. Oh, goodness me. Velociripper's on fire for the minute. Got away onto the arena sidewalk. And I wonder if they're immobilised there. I wonder if the engines have been burnt out, Velociripper. Certainly the Razor team on top. Velociripper, I think, has been immobilised. Robo Chicken is still bravely clucking on. Velociripper in trouble there from Killalot. So Killalot with that hydraulic cutting claw adapted from the jaws of light used by rescue services. Thrash 'em, Killalot, into the pit, and it's Velociripper that goes. Razor, of course, survives, and so does Robo Chicken.
In the next round, it was Bug, an old-time favourite of ours as well. Pulled the wheels off, like a pulling the legs off of a bug, some horrible little kid out in the garden, pulling the legs off. That's what we were doing.
Roboteers, stand by.
There's Razor then. Ian Lewis in the combat fatigue, Simon Scott alongside him. And Bug already looking as if it's been trashed. Jeff Warren, it's his baby
3,
dad, Jerry, alongside
2,
him.
1. Activate.
It's all about weaponry. Jerry Warren is a retired naval gun fitter on the ships, but they need some weapon power here. Bug to survive. In goes the pincer through the bulletproof body of Bug. Oh! And what do you require, sir? A number 1 cut, a number 2 cut, or just burnt straight off? Oh, I think I'll have to burn, thank you. Milliamp bug with a slightly burnt fringe, and the rest of the barnet's just smouldering there. Still articulating, as we said before. It's just ominous, isn't it? This horrible, destructive weapon of Razor. The holes, by the way, in Razor, there are 450 of them drilled into the beak. You see them? That's to keep the weight down. Now, trying to rupture the connection between the 2 domes of Milliamp bug. And a wheel has come off. Has the bug been bisected? Dissected? They obviously believe the weakness lies there in the wheels. Oh, what a horrible torture this is. It's like watching some maniacal, horrible schoolboy pulling legs off a spider. Revolting. And poor old Jeff Warren. It's his spider. Well, hardly a spider. Poor Millian. Oh dear. There goes another one. And it's just a grim battle of survival for Milliamp bug. They can articulate no more. Well, they can up, of course, in the little control booth. And full of fun, the Warrens. Even Liz, mum. She's involved now. She's the retired chief medical officer of the Plymouth Blood Bank. And she needs some transfusion now. And of course, Razor is the winner. Oh, and in again, pushing the Warren boys away. In comes the pickaxe and shunt. Off goes the Kevlar hair. Looks like spaghetti that's been left in the pan too long. Dead Metal now with the great circular saw. Oh, Matilda joining in the fun. What's Razor doing to Matilda? I really dread to think. There's Dead Metal. They're all having a little bit of Milliamp bug. The ugly bug.
In the heat final of the 4th Wars, who'd have believed what happened when we met Pussycat? That was a big turnaround, especially for us.
From Bournemouth, seed number 3, Razor.
Ian Lewis, team captain, design engineer on the right, Simon Scott in the middle, and Vincent Blood, a horticulturist on the left.
From Gloucester, seed number 19, Pussycat.
The team captain, Alan Gribble, there on the right, runs an engineering business.
Stand by. 3, 2, 1. Activate.
This for a place in the series semi-final. I think it would have graced the grand final. I think this is a terrific battle here. The squeezability of Razor, the blade of Pussycat, Razor on the attack immediately. What's happened here? Razor, I think, is stuck on the arena wall. Oh no, not again. This time it's not the arm which caused the problems in the last series. I think there's a problem here with the direction of Razor. Have a look again. On the attack, certainly buffeting Pussycat, but then onto the arena wall. You can see the back wheels are still moving. I think they're stuck here in forward drive, and they cannot get off the arena sidewall. Which means they're open for attack from Pussycat. Who's having kittens now? It's not the cat, it's the Razor boys. And I don't think Ian Lewis can do anything about this at all. Does the back arm look bent as well on Razor? I don't think the cutting blade of Pussycat, the claws of the cat can do any problem. They've given up here. They know it's all over. Oh, what a shot for the number 3 seeds. This is a major Robot Wars development and a real upset. The number 19 boys, the 19th seeded Pussycat team, expelled from the last series, are heading through here. Look at Shunt coming in. Oh, and part of the wheel bearings, I think they are, something to do with the wheels have come out of Razor. To me, the pit yawns deep. They know it. What a stunner for the Razor team. Nothing they can do now. They've left the controls and they've left Razor to the jaws of Dead Metal and to the despondency The pit of despair. Dead Metal carrying around the carcass of Razor. Into the pit. Now, how much is that pussy in the window? Pussycat's value soars.
So who would have believed what actually happened there, eh? At least of all us. This little switch actually controls the radio gear and it totally fell apart. Pussycat's blade came across, rattled the machine, just made it come to pieces. But it led up to a fantastic vengeance battle.
They don't like each other, don't forget. Pussycat defeated Razor to win Heat B of Series 4, and Razor claimed unfair damage was done. Ian Lewis is very unhappy, but, well, do you see Hypnodisc's victims bleating and coming back? You don't! Ian, it's in the nature of Robot Wars. If you're beaten, you're beaten. Take it like a man. He is, look at this, on the attack on Pussycat, and drawing Pussycat into the air with that great, ramming, crushing beak. And it's plucked the Pussycat away off the arena floor. There's a cat on a hot tin roof, if ever there was one. Dancing away. Has the Pussycat got nearly 8 lives left? Whoa! What came off there? There was a splinter of something. Flashed across the arena floor. Let's see if there was any real damage there. This is Pussycat coming back on the attack now with a swinging blade. No, it was just sparks. Just sparks, I think. Nothing damaged at all. But is Razor mobile? Yes, it is. The wheels are spinning anyway. But certainly Pussycat is on the attack. There goes the crushing beak down, levered at the other end. But Razor here is going nowhere. And Pussycat, which did beat the Razor in Series 4, went on to the grand final, was defeated by Chaos 2 there. In the main Robot War, Series 4 is on top here again. And I wonder if the Razor boys will take defeat. Because I think it is going to be a defeat for Ian with a smile. And what is important is that he is smiling. Pussycat presses the pit release tyre button. An innovation for extreme. Which means, of course, it's very little for Razor. Pussycat came in with a real old fronted assault on the side, and they're causing damage like they caused damage last time. A gentleman's agreement in the pits? I don't think so. They did this last time around, so Razor went for the grudge match. What's going to happen next time? A re-grudge? Well, Razor's being counted out by the red bot, and it's ended just like it ended before, with Pussycat the winners, and Razor grumbling and stumbling, and out! They won't like it. They're going to have to accept it. Pussycat is the better robot of the two when they come head-to-head. There's the shunt, there's the piss. It wasn't a close shave, was it? Let's be honest, for the Razor. Was it all hype? Are there smiles? Yes, there are. Good to see.
What a vengeance battle that was. Nice in a way to be beaten by the same machine twice. Nice lads, good machine, fierce battle. But that got us prepared for the All-Stars Championship. And don't forget, the machines are all top hardcore machines, 100 kilos. And our first battle is Gemini, which is sort of double trouble. That's 2 against 1. We really thought we were going to end up out of the arena well quick.
3, 2, 1.
You'll see Gemini split immediately. That's their usual tactic, and Razor going in with a crushing beak on the vulnerable top of Gemini, trying to crumple and crush down through the armory, and already has a grip. Don't forget, if one part of Gemini is immobilized, that's it. The whole robot is counted out. Together they dance. Gemini trying to free itself with the lifting ram. Can't do so. So the other part of the clusterbot will get in and try and flick Razor. Oh, look! They tumble together there. You ever seen fighting crabs on a beach? That's what they look like, tumbling over together. Look at Razor's self-righting, wings coming out, upside down, still with strength. Gemini away, Matilda comes in, trying to flick Gemini over with the tusks. Razor spinning away, gleaming steel machine with the sort of front low scoop. Now that's an addition, you'll see it very low down, 0 ground clearance there, you see it on the front. A sort of ramp to get in underneath opponents. Has done that now with Gemini. Gemini brilliantly designed, but How much effective weaponry is there when they split? Well, you've just got the answer to that. Razor has been turned turtle again, and still locking on to Gemini, using the beak and that front ramp, if you like, as a jaw mechanism to hold on. Terrific stuff here. It's even Steven. See the damage done to one of those Gemini cluster bots there on the right-hand side? Scarred, certainly. This one hasn't had any damage yet, this part of the cluster bot. And that's what Razor's after. Trying to cause as much mayhem as he can. He's got in underneath here. Oh, and there is the damage. Listen to the popping of the tyre. Like a balloon popping there. That was an amazing attack by Razor. It's let Gemini go, but the damage there could be crucial if this goes to a judge's decision. And with time seeping away, I think it may well do. Good drive by Razor betwixt and between. Saw the pincer movement, got away from it. Now Gemini coming again. Razor, oh! It got a lick of flame up the rear end, and it wasn't a good piece of driving. It'll have to go to the judges. Will that count against them? Let's have a look at the action again, shall we? Gemini, the two robots took punishment from Razor. That's definite. That was the first attack that left a scar. Good work by the Gemini clusterbot to throw Razor. Razor self-righting. All this good point scoring by Razor, and indeed the Gemini clusterbots too. This was this crumpling moment. Look at that. Is that decisive? I think it may well be. Well, I'm waiting for the decision, so are the crowd. We'll see the decision as it comes through. They've given it to Razor! Razor the winners on the judges' decision. And they'll fly on to the All-Stars quarterfinals later in the series.
Well, we beat Gemini, and that was the best judge's decision we'd heard in a long time. Then we're up against Behemoth. I mean, those poor guys, how many times have they fought us? But it was a very, very close battle. We're lucky we got it on damage.
3, 2.
Terrific fight this. Razor on the attack. And with that new sort of improved front scoop, very difficult for anything to get in underneath Razor. And it can also act as the second part of a pincer with the beak crushing down. And Behemoth's scoop has got into that crushing zone. And the scoop is being buckled and bent now by Razor. And is Behemoth indestructible? Look at that. The scoop is simply being buckled by Razor, but Behemoth driving Razor back here. Great power by Behemoth, pushing at a top speed of 7 miles an hour. Were they being dragged by Razor there, or were they pushing? Razor comes on a side attack. Maybe trying to get to one of those self-righting Behemoth arms, just to simply break it off. I think Behemoth and Anthony Pritchard at the controls know they have a real fight on here. Oh! The scoop, though, into play. And Razor turned over. Turned turtle. Can Razor use the beak and also the side wings to self-right? You see the wings coming out there? They've got little spikes on them to try and help them self-right, but not if Behemoth is driving them across the arena floor. Now, if Behemoth can keep Razor in there, can press down with the scoop, not lift with the scoop, it can lift, as we said to you beforehand, 300 kilos. What's the pressing power of it? Not much. Because of the damage sustained there to Behemoth, they couldn't press Razor down. But is Razor okay? Is there power in Razor? They're trying to self-right. They need to get away and come on the attack again. Very, very good skills there from the Razor team, from Ian Lewis at the controls, to get away and live to fight another day. Here they come, on the side charge, on Behemoth, and again down comes the crushing arm of Razor, this time simply slicing through the chassis of Behemoth, causing as much damage as they possibly can there to the very chassis of Behemoth, which is in real trouble here now. There's the ref bot, there's the clock, counting down. It'll go to the judges. This has been a magnificent fight. Both robots have sustained damage. Both have been aggressive. Both have had great control, and Behemoth right at the end has flipped Razor. It goes to the judges, but Behemoth on the attack right at the end. Goodness me, what a battle that was in the All-Stars. Let's look at this again. Whoa, you can feel the pain in the Behemoth team as they see their great scoop bucket being buckled there by the Razor beak. But even then, Behemoth came back on the attack at the end. This is really tight, really very, very tight.
Then we move on to Firestorm. They're a seasoned team, they're very good. But, you know, that just goes to show what we're in it for. Not only are we in it for winning battles, but we want to put on a spectacle, put on a great show. And when we pick Firestorm up and their little flippers waggling around in the air and we're driving around showing them to the crowd, for us, that is what Robot Wars is about.
Roboteers, stand by.
Firestorm at the controls. Graham Bone, Alex Mordew, Hazel Heslop, Graham's girlfriend, in there as well. And Razor, Ian Lewis driving. There he is on the left. Simon Scott in the middle, and Vinnie Blood too in that box. And Matilda. Look at the tusks, look at the flywheel. Tough. And perhaps tougher still, Shunt. That axe, diamond-edged and gleaming.
3, 2, 1.
We're down to the 4 best robots around. Firestorm and Razor, 2 of them. Razor immediately puncturing Firestorm's flipping weapon. Look at that, crumpling, buckling and bending. Firestorm went out on the all-out onslaught attack as we knew they would, and immediately coming to grief. And Razor literally ripping through that flipping arm, clinging on now. And Firestorm, I think their main hope would be to push Razor if they can towards a pit or towards an angle grinder, get away, come back in, try and get in underneath. But what damage has been caused is that flipping arm now out of action. Look, it's bent. Metal almost ripped from the very frame. They're going in again to puncture. Well, this is very one-sided and surprisingly so. Firestorm, they can still operate that weapon. Alex Mordew, if he can have a chance. The student, the 21-year-old. Razor, oh, triumphantly there. Lifting Firestorm aloft and holding it in the air. The crowd loved it. Great performance this by Razor. Theatrical, showboating really. Now, Firestorm, what can they do? Again, it's that frontal attack, trying to flip, but it's kamikaze in the end. They're now in the CPZ, which means, of course, Matilda can come into play with the tusks and the drive. Oh, turning and getting the flywheel, and also inviting Shunt in for some of the action with the axe. Poor old Firestorm there, taking tremendous damage here. They may well survive to go to a judge's decision. I think they are going to now, but look at the damage caused by those Razor boys. They think they've won it. I'd be amazed if they haven't. And Firestorm, look at that, the face of defeat. Ho, 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 ho. Razor immediately just puncturing any Firestorm hopes after the Firestorm head-on attack. It was their one tactic. They knew they had to go in on the attack Firestorm. This was magnificent here. Razor knew at that point they'd won it.
Next, we're in the final against Tornado, who'd had a really impressive run until they met us. And we worked them over good and proper. What did they do at the end? They complained, Razor never let us go, Razor never let us go. But you'll see by this footage, we gave them plenty of opportunity, but we wrecked them in the end.
3, 2, 1.
Tornado from the right-hand side. Razor immediately, though, with a beak on the attack, trying to penetrate the very shell of Tornado, crumpling and grinding. Part beak, part bird, part reptile. The whole is deadly. The spinning wheels of Tornado try and gain some purchase. Until we hear a puncture, it will try and gain purchase. I'm not too sure if one of those tyres has been punctured, but certainly the machine's shape has been crumpled. And to withstand that sort of punishment, Tornado must be a remarkable machine. But can they now launch any sort of counter-attack? Razor has them here, clawed, beaked, pulled, torn, dropped. Tornado, what power is there on that left-hand side of the machine? We'll wait and see. Can get up to 10 miles an hour. Is it one-sided now? Lopsided. Tornado is not running freely. Once again, Razor on the attack in this All-Stars final. Simon Scott, Ian Lewis the driver, Vinnie Blood there. Hard as cheek with that old beak. Into the tyre, it plunges once again. Tornado all of a sudden is looking a tired out old thing there in the war zone, in the arena. It cannot get away from Razor with the intense crushability. Two trolley shop caddy motors driving up to 11 miles an hour for Razor. Doesn't need to get up any speed because it has Tornado in its clutches. And poor old Andrew Marchand, the driver of Tornado, can do nothing against Simon Scott's team. It has been mightily effective in Robot Wars Extreme, but it has more than met its match against the world champions Razor, the international champions Razor. It's punctured now. The skin of Tornado, trying to get through to the very motors in there now. The 36-volt motors of Tornado. There is no life in that machine. Axed by the house robot. The ref bot takes a cursory glance. Sergeant Bash waits as well. Pit, 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 they cry. There's a lick of flame from the arena floor. Tornado, torch, scorned, burned, but not shamed. There goes Razor, onto the pit release button. You can see it flashing, see the pit descending. It's all over for Tornado. They'll end up in the pit ultimately, but after being counted out by the ref bot, Razor, worthy winners of our All-Stars final, worthy champions of Robot Wars Extreme, as all that is left to do is snuff out the Tornado, dampen down the hurricane, quieten the whirlwind. We have put the wind up you, says Razor. And in the end, let's be honest, it wasn't even a close shave. Sergeant Bash and Shunt come in with the last rites for a very brave, battling machine. Andrew Marchand, David Gamble and Brian Moss can be proud. Tornado, of course, holders of the challenge belt. Beaten 3 stakes to heaven on their way through. Then the spiteful Pussycat. The awesome Chaos went as well in the semi-finals. But here, Tornado, ignominiously flipped from the arena floor. Bashes and crashes. Splintered. Hopes tattered. Boing, it came down. But there is no bounce left in Tornado. No bounce in the step. It is a long and steady and agonizing, inch by inch, funereal procession towards the pit of oblivion. In comes Razor with a slight shove. Razor has the last word. Tornado has the last rites.
Cease.
And here's the trophy we won, the All-Stars Championship trophy. Fantastic stuff. Now Razor then goes into the 5th Wars. Now the machine's had a few tweaks here and there, a little bit of tuning here and there, a few little ideas incorporated. Great stuff, it's really ready to go this time, I tell you. Now you may expect us not to be that nervous going into our first battle against Big Nipper. Great machine, great big titanium teeth on this thing. It could really work us over. I was nervous as hell, I tell you. I was outside, my guts were turning over. Vinny had to come out and console me a bit.
The Big Nipper hopefuls, Harold and Mark Lum and Graham Dawson and Razor, of course, Simon Scott, Ian Lewis and Vinnie Blood. Dead metals in the arena for the house robots, the pincer, the saw, the synergy between. And Shunt, perhaps more brutal with the scoop and the diamond-edged axe.
3, 2, 1, activate
Razor there on the left-hand side. Very quick start, but something has been broken on that initial onslaught on the Big Nipper. It's part of the self-righting mechanism that has flown away from Razor. Beset by mechanical problems in the UK Championships, the reigning world champions have never won the domestic title. Now they're trying to claw their way back into this fight, causing destruction to Big Nipper, biting their way through. But there you can see flailing, useless now, part of that unique self-righting mechanism. When you see Razor at its best, with a flourish in its performance, it is spellbinding. Big Nipper trying desperately to get away. Well, if you crush a beetle, it rains and rains and rains. And punishment raining down on Big Nipper now from Razor, hoisting them into the air. Look at that, slicing in. Big Nipper onto the flames to burn out what electrical control they have left, slamming down. Well, the Nipper is big on resolve, if nothing else. One of its beetle-like jaws has been buckled upwards. Razor on the attack, and this is a very good and therefore very surprising first battle for Razor. I thought they'd stroll this against the new boys, so all credit to Graham Dawson at the controls of Big Nipper and Mark Lum at the weapons. Onto the angle grinder at the side of the arena, the sparks fly, Big Nipper drives back on the Razors, the heavier of the two machine. Razor's weight actually kept down by all those perforations you can see there. It's deliberate, it's not some mechanical mistake. Out comes Shunt with a push. Dead metal in there as well. Down comes the beak of this part bird, part reptile. They think it's the coolest machine in the world, Simon Scott, Ian Lewis and Vinnie Blood. Boys, you would. They shove it against the scoop of Shunt there. It being Big Nipper. Oh, and Shunt's diamond edge axe, the hardest material there is, slicing into Big Nipper. So that allows Razor to release its own beak. You've been nipped. You have been nipped in the bud, more like, for Big Nipper. And Razor, despite the damage, and they'll need work in the pitch, go through. But it wasn't with the flourish we expected. Big Nipper counted out. The Razor boys celebrate.
So, having disposed of Big Nipper after an incredibly dodgy and dramatic start to the Fifth War, we came up against Widow's Revenge. Now this was, oh, how can I describe it? It's just such a crazy battle. We're fighting against our other halves, and they were merciless, and so was Philippa. The ribbing they gave us in the pits was terrible, and their machine wasn't too hot, so we decided that we would really make them suffer for those comments.
3, 2, 1, activate.
So let's be honest, Razor team, if you win, you've got no homes to go to. It's your decision. Chasing on the Widow's Revenge and the rolling pin. Revenge is a meal eaten cold too. But Razor fears not and comes in crumpling. Now somewhere underneath there apparently is a handy compact mirror, some tweezers, and a little bit of lipstick in there somewhere. Oh! What's happening to Fifi and Madame Gilly and Madame M? Their robots being trashed by the puncturing beak of Razor. Oh, something flew off. The pit release button sounds doom and gloom for Widow's Revenge. No quarter asked nor given. Divorce lawyers are on the phone. Widow's Revenge are on the flames. The housekeeping money will be used now to repair Widow's Revenge for months ahead, or will it? I think some new wardrobe could be a good idea, boys. Oh, Ball Boy, Weasel and Potato Features. That's what they think of the partners. The Revbot counting Widow's Revenge down. Splendid Robot Wars entertainment. This is really what it's all about. hatred. Razor in on the attack. In it goes again. And Widow's Revenge are out of it. In comes the Sergeant. Now you should protect the gallant ladies, gallant Sergeant. Matilda, what are you doing? Sisters of Mercy? The Widows are infuriated. Girl power, that certainly was from our Matilda. And the Widows come crashing back down to earth. I think they've actually done something to our floor flipper there. They sort of wedged it open. Oh, Razor! There's nothing left of it. Be merciful. Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear. And this ungallant attack on Widow's Revenge gets the thumbs down, and quite rightly so. Well, I wonder if Razor gave them any advice there on how to build a robot. As if they did, it was sneaky. Very good against something early on, but now your robot is trash and is about to be binned, because I think your partners may have given you some duff advice. Matilda looks on. Oh, Razor! They've driven into the pit!
We were in big trouble at the end of that battle, particularly after the way Matilda laid into them. Then we're in the final against Rick. Now, Rick had had practice against Razor off screen, so they were a little bit aware of how we handle the machine. We worked them over good and proper, put a few holes in. They weren't too disappointed, it was a good battle. Then we had a go at the house robots, because we believe having a go at the big guys is good stuff.
The world champions, Razor, against very much the underdogs, Rick. A David and Goliath clash this.
Roboteers, stand by.
Kevin Gallagher, son Francis and Ian Aldridge have it all to do here with Rick. Against Vinnie Blood, Simon Scott and Ian Lewis. And of course against Sir Kill-A-Lot in the arena. And not forgetting Shunt back again. Real hunger here for the competitors tonight from Shunt.
3, 2, 1,
Razor on the attack. Ooh, Rick opening up the front flipper and immediately exposing the electronics to Razor. Razor didn't go for that, but went for the tyre. Exposed tyres, always going to be vulnerable. Razor also finding a chink there, getting between metal and tyre, chasing Rick across towards the arena sidewall. Huge crushability factor from the Razor beak. Off comes Rick's plexiglass frame. In goes Razor with a slam and a crunch. Rick, you've got to try and hold on somehow. But I'll tell you what, to get into this heat final, that's splendid again. They've opened that flipper to allow Razor to come in with an attack. But no doubt young Francis of the controls will learn from this. In comes Shunt with an axe. Ooh, he looks in pain. Ian Aldridge's friend there behind him, peering on as well. His machine certainly is in pain, and Razor now drags it forward. They try and lower that front flipper to escape from the Razor beak and flip it away. That's neatly done there. Well done, young Francis. Keen member of the Scouts. Dip, 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 dob, dob, dob. Razor's just about done the job. Lifting and prizing. Not going yet for the pit release button. I thought they might do to end it prematurely. But they've certainly got Rick on the run and on the flames too. And watch out for Razor throughout this series. Yes, they're world champions, but they want the domestic UK title, and they want it badly. Rick hurting badly, being captained out by the ref bot. Only seconds remaining. 9, 10 the KO for Rick. Ian Aldridge, a big Formula 1 fan. Your machine never got off the starting grid, really, in this heat final against, well, a mean machine in Razor. And are we about to see Rick here flung through the air? We are. An unworthy ending to a worthy heat finalist. How can they enjoy seeing that? Great fun though, and that's what Robot Wars is all about too. Precise and skilled engineering. But let's not forget the laugh we have too. Sometimes at the expense of the house robots. That's what Razer's going for here, look. A little tickle on Sir Killalot from the Razer beak. Razer, you may rue that later on in the series. Sir Killalot's blinking eyes, half fury. Razer spinning away. They've beaten their wives and girlfriends and opponents and now taking on the house robots too. In comes Sir Killalot with his great pincers, fashioned from the jaws of life, used by rescuers, firemen and the like, to prize people away from wreckage and used there to dump Razer into the pit. Razer winners, of course, but they won't like being in there at the end, or did they? Strange, some people on Robot Wars.
So we're through to the semi-finals for the first time against Spawn again. The Essex boys are coming through to us, and we've got to try and sort them out. And the best way to do that is to take their flipper off. We kind of got them cornered, went after them, flipper came off. The rest is history.
The reigning world champion Simon Scott, Ian Lewis and Vinnie Blood with Razer against them. Darren Ball and Luke Jackman and Spawn again. Shunts in the arena with the axe and the scoop and the menace. Sergeant Bash is there as well with the flamethrower and the pincers and the bad mood.
3, 2, 1.
What action we've already seen. What's in store for us here? Razer on the attack, immediately slicing down through the front flipper of Spawn again and pushing it against the arena sidewall. And I feared all along the extra weight of Razer would be crucial here. And I don't think Spawn again can get away from their peril. Semi-finalists of Series 3 with the Scutter's Revenge machine. Semi-finalists with Spawn and Scudder in Series 4. And to me, Spawn again are going to fall at the same hurdle. For Darren Ball driving, for Luke Jackman there with him as well. And Razer with Ian Lewis at the controls, and there's the weapons operator and team captain Simon Scott. Have victory in sight. Piercing and penetrating with the beak. Grappling with the front scoop. They use it as a jaw. They get in underneath there. Spawn again with a very small ground clearance, but wide enough for Razer to get in underneath. And poor old Darren, oh, he's got a fight on his hands here to stay alive. They're on the border of the CPZ, the corner patrol zone. It means that Sergeant Bash and Shunt can attack. You get pushed into the CPZ. If you're new to Robot Wars, it means the house robots can have a go at you, basically. Razer trying to have a go at Spawn again. We'll have to give chase. Spawn again turns, comes in on the attack. Side by side, they strut their stuff.
No flipper.
No flipper. Confirmation from the Spawn again team that the weaponry is gone. What should we do? Press the pit release and maybe seek a merciful release by going down into the pit yourselves. I don't think so. I think it's just bad driving. But Razer will take advantage, and down goes Spawn again. And Razer, the world champions, go through to the next fight.
So, having disposed of Spawn again, we're up against S3, a real promising newcomer to the sport. They've got a wicked vertical blade, and we knew that if they caught us, we could be in trouble.
3, 2, 1.
Let me remind you, this is for a place in the grand final. Razer, they have never won the UK domestic title. They are so desperate to win it. S3, who came through the losers melee, let me remind you, on a judge's decision on damage and aggression. Slammed into by Razer into the CPZ and taking punishment from Shunt, and Razer's beak has penetrated the body of S3. The cylindrical body is held high. I've described this as a hammerhead shark. It is a mere minnow, gobbled up by the big fish that is Razer. They were in the right place at the right time. And this is a whale of a time for the Razer boys. And S3 are heading for the depths of despair. And Davy Jones's Robot Wars lockup, sliced by dead metal. and a grisly end to worthy competitors. They fought before as Sting, but this S3 machine looked far more competitive and deadly. It's a credit to Pete Alsop and Ian Pritchard and David Barker. And they're still fighting, and they still want more. What a series semi-final this has been. Razor in, chasing and pursuing and nagging. S3 driven against the side wall, into the CPZ, dead metal awaits. The pincers close. You need to get it out from that mess. Razor still on the chase. In comes Shunt with the diamond edge axe. I wonder if we'll see the flourish of victory from Razor we've become so accustomed to seeing. Pete Alsop, a plasterer by trade. Maybe we'll go out and get plastered tonight to commiserate with his friends. And will the celebratory champagne be on the Razor boys? In squeezed and penetrated and pained S3. Under the cosh from Dead Metal. Still looking for more. Grisly and grotesque damage is Ian Lewis, a design engineer at the controls of Razor. So experienced. What can you do, S3? They're all after you. Into the CPZ again. The big vertically mounted disc has stopped spinning. The hopes have stopped surely for S3. Damage limitation just alive. The clock counts down. Razor squeezes. The judges will have to decide because they are still maneuverable. But we know which way it's going to go, don't we? What a battle!
Suddenly, without realising it, we're in the grand final of the 5th Wars. We're up against Firestorm. And I tell you, the times they pushed us across the pit, our hearts were missing beats.
Bigger brother through. Hypnodisc will have a chance to fight for 3rd or 4th against the loser of our next battle, Razor and Firestorm 3.
From Bournemouth, Razor.
This series, they have a larger front scoop to complement the 3-ton crushability beat ram powered by a 5-piston radial hydraulic pump, twice world champions.
From Durham, Firestorm 3.
Has experience of 3 previous wars and that pneumatic flipping up. I wonder how much damage has been sustained and is the transmitter reliable?
Roboteers, stand by.
Razor facing Firestorm. The Razor boys Simon, Ian and Vinny. And the Firestorm team Graham Bone, Alex Mordew, Hazel Heslop. Sergeant Bash is in the arena with the flamethrower and the pincers. Also fighting for the house robots alongside our Sarge is our Matilda as well. Gruesome, ghastly, the tusks, the flywheel.
3, 2, 1.
Razor with the huge crushability factor and immediately grappling with Firestorm. And Firestorm's Graham Bone came head-to-head with Razor, and I wonder if that was wise. But I wonder if he thought we have to get at them quickly because we won't last. And look at the crumpling power of Razor's beak. They say it's part bird, part reptile, the coolest looking robots on Earth. It is a deadly machine. And the Firestorm team know they have a battle to survive. Survive they do, and turn away. But look at the front flipper. Is that not wedged open, or do my eyes deceive me? Which means the very innards of Firestorm are now open for any Razor attack. Razor slams onto the front flipper and ironically crumples it back into place. And there goes the pit release. Now Razor has Firestorm in its grip. Letting it get away. Firestorm across the arena floor. What next? Back into Razor, slamming it against the arena side wall. We've already had one major surprise. Will the Razor boys have another against them? Ian Lewis, the driver, The weapons operator Simon Scott, there had Firestorm by their grips. They've let it go again, and Simon looks worried. And the ref bot looks concerned too. And Razor here. Oh, I thought they were immobilised. They've come back onto the attack to take on Firestorm once more. Oh, across the pit! How do they survive that? I've heard of walking on water, but walking across the pit of oblivion, never before have we seen that. Firestorm away into the safety of the central arena area. Razor out again, head to head, beak to flipper, metal to metal. Dancing so near that pit once again into the CPZ, almost an action replay. Against the tyre, Firestorm pushes, Razor retreats. They are skirting with oblivion, literally. Sergeant Bash, a crash, and Firestorm is pinned into the CPZ. And away, what action we've seen here in this battle. Once more they crumple. I'm not too sure whether the Razor beak is working fully. Down it comes once again. But it seems to lack that penetrating power we've seen in the past. Firestorm is in its grip. What will happen? It looks as if we're going to go to the judges. This was an unbelievable contest. What a battle, one of the closest I've seen. Nip and tuck, no quarter arse nor given. And I don't think we've seen its like before.
Now we're in the final against Bigger Brother. And we thought we were going to be in big trouble because they got a very powerful flipper. And we thought we may have trouble in outmanoeuvring them. But as you can see by this battle, it went a little bit too easy.
3, 2, 1. Activate.
The 5th Robot Wars Grand Final for the UK Championship. They turn, they look, they feel each other out. And Razor's feel has the touch of cold steel, slicing into Bigger Brother. A slice is nice. Twice. And Bigger Brother is already under the cosh. And he knows it. Ian Watts, a broadcast engineer by trade. He loves his roboteering. He loves his diving. And he's going to have to dive deep into his memory banks now to come up with a tactic to beat Razor. Ponderously awaiting its moment to come in with a crumpling effect. 3 tons of crushability factor on Robot Wars. Bigger Brother was bumped and bashed and spinning. Wedged onto a wheel there, I think. They're locked together, are they? Well, they're spinning and eventually uncoupled. Bigger Brother away. They need to get that front flipper in. Hey, we thought they weren't going to beat Hypnodisc. They were trashed by Hypnodisc, and Hypnodisc went down. Anything could yet happen, but Razor has them now firmly in its jaw. The part reptilian beast, part bird of Ian Lewis and Simon Scott and Vinnie Blood. Razor pulls away. At charity events, Vinnie Blood likes to bend Razor's arm. Is he mad? Would you go out there and take Razor off? Bigger Brother are doing just that. They've pressed the release button. Are they going to drive Razor the way of Hypnodisc? Hold him, says Vincent Blood. Oh, Ellie, what's happening out there? She's trying to peer and see. And Bigger Brother, driven on by Dad Ian, is forced ever backwards in the grand final. Are they seconds away from defeat? Do not count Bigger Brother out just yet. We've seen so many twists and turns in this series. The Sergeant comes out, has a look, Bigger Brother away. A lick of flame for the Sergeant on the back of Razor. Razor. Oh, doesn't that look ominous? The judges are going to have to decide. What a brilliant feat by Bigger Brother to hold on. Razor has not finished them off. Not yet. And it won't do so. What a final it was. They think they've won it. They think they're champs at last.
So, winning the 5th Wars finally gave us the one trophy we'd hungered after all these years. Over 4 seasons of competition, we've won a grand total of 10 trophies, including 3 Best Design Awards and 2 World Championships.
And then there's the Southern Annihilator, and that's like the biggest mass bundle we've been in. We really got to show all the aspects of the machine, and we knew if we got through the final, we could actually have a go at Matilda.
3, 2, 1.
Oh, look at the speed of Razor, straight out of the traps there to the top right of your picture. Razor with a great crushing claw on Vercingetorix. That's Behemoth trying to get the scoop in. That's Razor immediately on the attack and piercing Vercingetorix's shell. The boys from the Isle of Wight with a Kevlar and Lexan machine in trouble straight away from Razor, look. Piercing and crumbling Behemoth nearly flipped up by Onslaught, but look at this. Razor's great crushing, piercing weapon. Crumpling down on Vercingetorix right from the start. Spawn of Scudder dodging away from Attila the Drum. Attila the Drum coming back, using the pickaxe, don't forget. There, we just saw it. Onslaught in the middle. Vercingetorix trying to get back. And Razor. There we can see at the controls briefly the Razor boys. They're doing most of the attacking so far. Onslaught, though, bashing against Razor. Razor taking on poor old Vercingetorix again. Well, they picked on them right from the start. And Behemoth coming in and lifting Razor up into the air. Onslaught trying to do the same with Vercingetorix, probably not having enough power. Spawn of Scudder, will we see the great piercing spike come out? They want them in the pit. Who's going in the pit? Attila the Drum in the top? No fear. Behemoth almost flipped up. Spawn of Scudder in the action again. Toppling Onslaught against the scoop of Behemoth. Look at this now. It was Onslaught on the attack first of all on Behemoth, but very nearly toppled in the end. There. Over goes Onslaught. Last time they didn't have a self-riding mechanism. They said they did this time, and they do. Away from Razor in spectacular fashion. Look at that. The Onslaught self-riding mechanism does work this time around. Attila the Drum is doing nothing but trundling around. Razor is on the attack again. Vercingetorix has been in the thick of everything right from the start. And Onslaught, plucky little terrier. We told you about that early on. Now, Razor and Behemoth having a go at Attila the Drum, which does spin and turn around wildly. That's the Attila the Drum team. That was Aisha Nat, the 14-year-old, waving to us. Thumbs up from her. Meanwhile, Onslaught again flipped up and turning as Vercingetorix been immobilised. One robot has to go. One robot will be eliminated at this stage, and I think at the moment it looks like Vercingetorix, Spawn of Scudder on the attack, Behemoth on the attack. Well, they were really under the cosh right from the word go. This is Behemoth, and look at little Onslaught. Behemoth had a go at Spawn of Scudder. Anything you can do, I can do better. That was magnificent. Little Onslaught on the attack on Behemoth, and again, they will not give up, the Onslaught boys from Bedford. Vercingetorix, though, a little bit of smoke. I think they're out of it. This is Razor on the attack of Attila the Drum. Oh, and look at this. Will they break the pickaxe off, or is it strong enough to withstand the pressure? I think Vercingetorix are out.
Volunteers, stand by.
Ah, formidable 5. Oh, Attila the Drum have changed weapons, look. Onslaught, so plucky, and Razor, so formidable. Attila the Drum with Bernie Ryder, the team captain, on the left-hand side there. Aisha next to him. All the Onslaught boys arriving in the middle, a little bit late, and Razor on the right. There's Spawn of Scudder. And Behemoth, a heavyweight. Spawn of Scudder boys on the left-hand side. Darren Ball, Graham Warner, Luke Chapman, all work together.
2, 1.
Customary bright start from Razor then, from the right-hand side of your pitch. In comes Onslaught! Oh, as plucky as ever to take on Razor. Behemoth trying to flip Onslaught, don't know why. It's got a very effective streamer. Razor tried to, crumple and puncture the front scoop of Behemoth. Now attacking Spawn of Scudder with a sharp teeth front. Trying to puncture Spawn of Scudder as it did Vercingetorix, and look at Onslaught, the wheels may be spinning. The hearts, though, of Razor fluttering under the attack of Onslaught, tremendous. And Behemoth and Razor now against Spawn of Scudder, but that was the push from Onslaught, which shows tremendous power. Razor takes Spawn of Scudder in a grisly grip, and Attila the Drum keeps on trundling on. In comes the ref bot to have a look at Spawn of Scutter. Are they immobilised? Razor almost turned over though. Now we know that Razor can flip itself using that winged claw mechanism. Do you see that? It's over on its side. We know they can right itself. Little help from Onslaught. Topsy-turvy. I think Razor should be okay, but Behemoth is in there and putting pressure on them. And Onslaught, and time is ticking down. Razor will have to prove they are not totally immobilised. Spawn and Scutter, Behemoth, they're all combining against Razor, the favourites. And Razor up and ready to take on Onslaught. Onslaught on its side. That means it's vulnerable if it's on its side. If it's flipped over, it can stream-hack, but not if it's on its side. They're okay, they're away. Razor trying to exact some sort of revenge on Behemoth, and there goes Attila the Drum. If in trouble, run away, live to fight another day. In they come, little smack of the mace down on Behemoth. Onslaught. Snapping away there once again. Onslaught and Razor both topple. Who can ride themselves the quickest? Onslaught are up. Razor not far behind them there. Look at this. Onslaught, 1, 2, 3, up and over she blows. And Razor just behind. Those are the two impressive robots for me so far in this Annihilator. The most impressive. Again, Razor using that wing mechanism. Attila the Drum, a little bit of force, a little bit of power to try and keep them over. And a slam down of the mace. I don't think that's going to cause too much damage, to be brutally honest. Spawn of Scutter on the attack. But Razor here, you know, they're going to have to flick themselves up and over. And Spawn of Scutter, well, they can rue that ultimately, helping Razor to right themselves. That is not good controlled aggression from Spawn of Scutter. And should it go to the judges, they will be marked down on that. I don't quite know how the judges would mark Attila the Drum, to be honest. They just seem to be a mad twirling thing to me. Razor puncturing Behemoth right behind the scoop. Look, it's got in on the scoop mechanism, Razor, to try and disable the scoop of Behemoth. Trying to cut the weapon effectively. It's a pneumatic scoop. Oh, in on the side now of Behemoth. Taking punishment. The great 80-kilo machine from Hemel Hempstead. Attila the Drum buffets. Behemoth tries to ride the pressure from Razor. Has a chance to get away, but it's not the quickest at 6 miles an hour. Razor here, like a dog with a bone. After Behemoth, it will not let it alone. It's trying to worry it to robot oblivion. Spawn of Scutter trying to stay out of trouble, and Oblivion wisely also, because this is the duel that matters now. It's how long Behemoth can survive. And Michael and Anthony Pritchard, the brothers, with Kane Aston in support as well, trying to steer Behemoth out of trouble. I don't think they can. I don't think it's moving at all. I think Behemoth have been immobilised. I think the end is nigh for them. Razor worrying it tenaciously. Spawn of Scutter there, top of your picture, and of course, yes, Attila the Drum. And it's Behemoth for me who will go out here. Onslaught, a little bit of a busy run, but stay out of trouble, Onslaught. That's the message for them now. With Alan Wood, the Harpo Marks look-alike, and his son David and Mark Holland in the team. And this is Spawn of Scutter under pressure from Razor. Had enough of Behemoth. They think Behemoth have finished. Well, it is moving, but only just. Now, Spawn of Scutter. Look at them. They think they're out. Spawn of Scutter, the Essex boys, think they've been immobilised. And look at this attack on Attila the Drum now from Onslaught. It's all happening in front of us in the Northern Annihilator. Something came off there. Behemoth are out of it. Spawn of Scutter, have they survived? Goodness me. Our terrible trio, Onslaught, magnificent. Razor, crushing. The Onslaught boys, Mark Holland, David Wood and his dad, Alan, and the Razor team in there, Ian Lewis, Simon Scott. Not forgetting team member Vincent Blood as well. There's Attila the Drum from Southampton, Bernie Ryder at the controls, Helen and Aisha with him.
2, 1.
Well, I would imagine Attila the Drum very much up against it here, unless Razor or Onslaught decide to take the other favourite out, because I make them co-favourites at the moment for this. Attila the Drum. Attila. What are they doing? Slam bam on the arena floor. They could win this by doing very little in the entire Annihilator. Onslaught through the flames. 12 miles an hour top speed. Too quick for Razor, it would seem. Oh, but look at that awesome, great, crushing weapon. And Attila the Drum, now that is the first first time we've seen a real punishing attack from Attila the Drum, the potential of an attack anyway. A maddening spin and the heavy flail on the end, very, very nearly caught. And that is a worthy tactic. I want to see that again from Attila the Drum. Look at that, spinning wildly, and if that connects and catches, then Razor and Onslaught could be in real trouble. They, meanwhile, duel their dance of death together. Onslaught away, Attila spinning. Onslaught away from Razor. In comes Attila the Drum, bang down. It needs to get closer. The ref bot has a look. Razor trying to catch up with Onslaught and get side on so it can crush down with the beak. Of course, Onslaught has other ideas. No point in trying to flip Attila the Drum. It can roll both sides up. Undrum, not this one. And the tempo of the drum is beating ever quicker, it would seem. Can it catch Razor, or will Razor go in and pierce the very drum itself? Fully floating electronics inside the body of Kevlar on Attila the Drum. Razor with the electric power and the 9-ton hydraulic piercer. And Onslaught with the pneumatically powered scooper, the static spikes at the rear. Razor spinning in the middle of the arena floor. This is very close, you know. It has not been the most punishing of Annihilator rounds. It's a little bit more cagey, but that is another strong blow from Attila the Drum. And now they are finally proving worthy opponents here. Look at that, crashing against Razor. And yes, they have been aggressive here, and Razor was stunned. Razor was clearly stunned. Ian Lewis and Simon Scott need to get Razor moving again, otherwise we could have an upset, because although it has danced on the arena floor, it has taken punishment. Look at that, bang! Bang from Attila the Drum. Onslaught has been busy, Attila the Drum has been potentially destructive, and Razor here suddenly is up against it and needs to work hard. Waiting its moment to close on Attila the Drum, but they can't get in there, fearful of that mighty mace-type weapon at the end. It's an interchangeable weapon. They can bring back the pickaxe. Razor trying to close in there on Onslaught. A bash and a crash. Now, has the hydraulic crusher of Razor become immobilized? We haven't really seen it here at this stage. It draws back. It tries to tatter and tear, but Killalot's got Attila. Attila driven in onto the CPZ, the corner patrol zone, and that meant it was game for Sir Killalot. What a shame! Oh, what a shame for Bernie Ryder and the team, because I thought they were doing so well. Can they now redeem themselves? They've gone back onto the fringe of the CPZ. That's lunacy! Oh no! Sir Killalot's got the weapon, the wheels spin, but there's no one at home, Bernie Ryder, I'm afraid. Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear. The wheels are tattered and torn. And I thought we were in for a major, major upset. Onslaught and Razor, will they now survive if it goes to the judges? Because the most punishment sustained by anyone at this stage sustained there. And it was the House Robots that caused it. Now can Razor suddenly close on Onslaught? Goodness me, they just got away. Matilda in the thick of the action there as well. Onslaught very nearly into peril. And they are in peril now, Razor! Now you can see the crushing beak. And it'll go to the judges again. Will they survive?
Left that Alan in the middle.
2, 1. Debate.
They're getting Mark Holland, the brother-in-law of Alan, very much a part of the Onslaught team. Didn't fancy this, did they? Let's be honest. They want to stay out of punishing range of Razor. Dodging around Matilda, how about that? Matilda, you were far too slow there. They got in behind Matilda and Tony left her for dead. Onslaught trying to stay away from Razor, that's more important, of course. Matilda wants revenge. You can't make me look like a daft old what? I'm not too sure. One hates to think about descriptions for Matilda, really. Stuff of nightmares. Oh, look at that. They've driven straight onto the Razor beak. And Razor know. That's Vinnie Blood there with the thumbs up. They know now they've got Onslaught. They can do with Onslaught exactly what they want. And that is to let them go, because they know they can come in and crash. There was an attack of the beak weapon. They've got Onslaught by the tyre, by the wheel, a crush.
And Onslaught, well, the tyre only slightly shredded, and it looks to me as if they've got full power and momentum, or have they? RAZER again worrying and nagging, and they pace themselves magnificently in this Southern Annihilator to come strong at the end. Onslaught, well, we better have a go. Charging headlong at RAZER. Do you know, I'm not too sure whether they've got full crushing ability or whether they have done throughout. The tyre now fully shredded, so the damage was done. Look at that, the tyre, which had been shredded in the earlier attack, seemed to be okay, but no, it wasn't. And that will be a major problem now for Onslaught's traction on the arena floor. RAZER bumps and bashes. Again, almost tentative, though, with the claw. Almost as if they don't want yet to pierce the steel chassis and the covering armour of Onslaught. Onslaught away, beyond Matilda, beyond the flame, spurting out from the arena floor. They're the remnants of its tyres. Oh, what are they doing? What are they doing? Straight back into the CPZ. In comes RAZER. Onslaught on its side. And I mentioned beforehand, if it was flipped over, it could stream itself right, but not on its side. I don't think so. Against the arena wall, and Matilda pressurised and punctured by RAZER. Oh dear, look at that. Matilda taking one on the shell. The rear of Matilda has never been quite seen like this before, and I have to say, thank goodness Matilda is on fire. RAZER is destroying Matilda. There's the flame from Matilda. The tusks were raised. I think it was just a last sort of nervous spasm of Matilda. They're in major... Tildy, what's happened to you? Call on all your friends, the house robots. Kill a lot, do the gallant thing, take on RAZER. Onslaught's long been forgotten. Matilda, kill a lot. You're a knight of the realm, sir. Get in, sir, and protect your Tildy. No, sir, no such fear. We'll let Tildy bear the brunt of the attack of RAZER. Is there anything left of Matilda, I wonder? Onslaught, there's Sergeant Bash to have a jet. There's nothing left of Onslaught, I'm sure. And just when Matilda thought she was away, back come RAZER. Down goes the pit. Go on, chuck Tildy down there. Get Matilda in the pit. Oh, Matilda, what's happened to you, dear? I think it's time you took a long rest, Matilda. Go on. Take a long convalescence, Matilda. Killalot, was Killalot nudging Matilda towards the pit there, everyone? I'm not too sure. The house robots seem to be teaming up with RAZER against poor old Matilda. What's going on? Vinny Blood and the RAZER team have won this Southern Annihilator. Poor old Matilda, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. What on earth has happened to the darling of robot wars? Matilda, yes, I know, it's sad, isn't it? But she is our darling. Oh, Matilda, we will not waltz with you for a while, it would seem. On the flame pit again. Well, Onslaught eventually. Dead metal doing the right thing by Matilda. Onslaught in the pit. RAZER have won the Southern Annihilator. And now Sir Killalot can come in for revenge. You're a little bit too late, Knight of the Realm. But what's to happen to poor old Matilda from now on in the red pot? Taking one last lingering look. Will this be the last we ever see of Matilda, I wonder? RAZER, strong enough to be our Southern survivors.
We've also appeared in 3 major international championships. The first one was the International League, and there, the moment for me was when we were fighting Techno-Lease. We got to ram them, we got to squeeze them, we tried to lift them for the tail, and we also squeezed Shunt's bucket.
Clean, smashing robot against the crumpability factor of that great beak. We've already seen the pushing power of Techno-Lease. Now let's see if it can withstand damage. The answer, no! 9 tons of squeezability. Pushing down, denting. Techno-Lease. Now RAZER's turn to push Eric and Franz towards the pit. I have actually seen something awful, more awful about RAZER than the machine itself. Simon Scott's long hair, perhaps, would go a long way. Oh, look at that, though. Simon's machine is deadly and is awesome. Hauling Techno-Lease up onto the front edge. Oh no, backing back into Shunt though, and causing itself some damage. Lifted up by Shunt, this could be a major upset. Shunt drops Razor into the centre of the arena. I thought for one moment it might have gone all the way towards the pit. Razor, topsy-turvy, will now see the Srimek, the self-righting mechanism. And that has become a very useful feature of robots. The Srimek, using those great winged blades to push up and over and back, ready to fight again, Razor. Again, trying to pierce the top of Techno-Lease. Puncture! And again, something popped there. Techno-Lease badly dented. The aim, of course, to get through to the two poly motors and deaden Techno-Lease. Easy peasy does it for Razor at the moment. They think they've won. Techno-Lease, are they immobilised? Razor coming in for one last hoist up. Bashing Techno-Lease onto the arena floor. Ian Lewis and Simon Scott at the controls. That's the camera on Dead Metal, the house robot. Coming in with a circular saw blade there. Also, Shunt with a couple of bashes. Meanwhile, Razor seemed to be taking on Matilda. And indeed was. Great speed from Razor, nipping about the arena floor. This is what we were talking about earlier on. Shunt comes in for retribution. Look at Razor! Shunt bulldozer blade is almost buckled and bashed out of sight. This is unheard of. Razor is destroying one of the house robots. They're loving it. The house robot's revenge will be dreadful, I can promise you that. Razor, the winners of this, of course. They will win Group B. Techno-Lease are out of it. The English team will go on now to take on Matilda. Trying to immobilise Matilda's chainsaw for later on. Prodding where perhaps no robot has ever gone before. Or would ever like to go again. That truly is a hideous thought. Still sniffing around Matilda's chainsaw, but now lifted up Razor. Will the retribution of the house robots come in? They are thoroughly enjoying this. Techno-Lease bashed, bruised, bloodied, beaten, and Razor clinging to the arena ropes, as it were, for safety. Winning the group and going on. Terrific battle that. Techno-Lease, sportsmanlike to the end, but out.
So, in the first World Championships, first round, we're up against Diotoir.
Have you ever seen anything as awesome as Razor? That was the boast. Hamish looks scared already. Here's the cross of St Andrew on the top of the Scottish entrant. All talk. Are they all talk, though, and no muscle? Because look at the damage already caused by that squeezability factor of Razor. And again, call it a beak, call it a claw, call it horrible. Creating damage. The Razor weapon. And this looks a very dangerous robot to me. Sergeant Bash there, a flick of flame, back in its own CPZ, leaving Razor to cause all the damage itself. In on those custom-made tyres, shredding look. Simply snapping through the millimetre-thick stainless steel. I thought it might be too frail. All talk in trouble. More damage. That is a knife through hot butter. Sergeant Bash coming into the CPZ as well. Oh, Hamish! How'd you like your Hamish? Well done. Medium, perhaps? Oh dear. You better get it while you can. He's not going to be around long, is he? Let's be honest. Oh, you can hear the metal just being crumpled and broken. Oh no, now dead metal. Well, that's what it is. All talk, I'm afraid. You are dead metal.
Cease.
Now in the second round of the World Championships, up against George Francis, the newly crowned king of Robot Wars. What a battle this was going to be.
Activate.
This, a real crunch. Two robots with a great deal of respect in the pits. Especially Razor for that claw weapon. And Chaos 2 nearly flipping Razor up. Chaos 2 get up to 20 miles an hour. is nippy, very manoeuvrable, and George Francis is one of the best controllers in the history of Robot Wars. But Razor already puncturing once again the CO2 gas canister in the main engine compartment of Chaos 2 has gone, and with it has the power of the weapon gone also. That is a mighty weapon. The beak of Razor, the squeeze ability. Is that a tattered ribbon on the side of Chaos 2? A tattered battle flag, a reminder of previous victories. Because that is all they'll be left with, I'm sure now. Memories of victories in the past. This is dead metal and the circular saw and the great scorpion-like pincers at the front. Now they have Chaos 2, and it is a matter of time. Ooh! That is a terrible scar. Well, he's a magnificent driver of a robot, is George Francis. He gets great advice from Ian Swan and young Richard in the team as well, but their future in the Robot Wars World Championship is limited to that. In the pit.
Cease.
Well, Chaos drives himself in the pit.
Now we're through to the semi-finals up against 101 Mike Franklin. Great time to showboat Razor and really show off the machine, lifting him up. Everything happened. Check it out.
Activate.
Don't count your pistons till they're pumped. Don't count your gears till they're meshed. Don't count your accelerators until they've accelerated. 101 in the claws of dead metal. And that's what we thought would happen in the beak of Razor. That is hardened sheet steel. They say Razor's part bird, part reptile. Well, at the moment, it's got a crocodile grip on 101. And it's got the scorpion of dead metal. Don't hurt Bunny, that red. Well, Super Bunny's not there. And 101 probably wishes it was elsewhere too. This is going horribly, predictably to plan for the Razor boys. And Mike Franklin said 101, his machine would be creamed, and he's not wrong. Look at that. It's just crumpling the frame of 101. The body shell is HE30 alloy, tossed around, leaf in a storm, into Sir Killalot's clutches and away again. Now, that's good driving by Mike. Good speed as well. Amy looks perplexed, holding on to Super Bunny as if her life depended on it. 101, I think, here, doing magnificently just to stay competitive. Running away to fight another day. If Razor can get a grip on one of those tracks which came from an old bottle washing machine, it could be the end. It is the end now.
Well, both robots are still mobile, so while the judges make the decision, let's look at some of the highlights of that amazing battle.
Razor immediately on the attack. That's the first puncture. You heard the metal pop, literally. All the aggression in this semi-final from Razor. All the punishment sustained by 101. Had little chance to control itself away. Razor surely the winner here.
Okay, so this is the big one, the big final for the World Championships, the one we've always been after, up against Behemoth. We were so nervous going into this, but check it out now.
Activate.
The world final. And immediately on the attack, it's Razor with the beak and Behemoth with the scoop. The two most dangerous weapons we've seen throughout these World Championships. The scoop rises and drops. In on the attack again comes Razor, flipped up on its side. Now it can use that beak to right itself if it can get away from the clutches of Behemoth, which is pinning Razor down on the floor at the moment. Razor desperately trying to get some sort of claw hold on the arena floor, but this is good steering and controlled aggression from the Pritchard boys and Kane Aston in that Behemoth team. Matilda comes in as well. Now you can see the wings on the beak, as it were, as Razor flips itself up, comes on the attack. Turned over once again, though. And worry here for Simon Scott and Vincent Blood and Ian Lewis in that Razor team. The Behemoth boys are on top.
RAZER being toppled and turned again onto the flame pit. It'll get itself away from there, I'm sure. That is rising phoenix-like from the flames, or is it? Can they get away from there? I don't think they can. I think that wing isn't gaining sufficient purchase on the grid of the flame pit. They get a nudge, they're off now. They could be away any moment. There's something wrong here, you know, with RAZER, and RAZER has a history of mechanical breakdowns. And I think they've gone again. The beat, the stream-egg, the self-righting mechanism, no, they're okay, they're off and running. Oh, for a minute there I thought they'd gone. And I think Simon Scott did too. Vincent Blood there, the bald head at the bottom of your picture, we know what he's like. Ever had a dinky toy when you were a kid? Vincent, when he was 7, built a car crusher to destroy them. That's what he's like. This is RAZER though, crushing Behemoth, the frame. And the bottom part of Behemoth there is its most vulnerable part. Just peeling away the plating along the side. Hopping and jumping now, look, RAZER. And Behemoth pinned between Shunt and RAZER, and in trouble. This is an epic final. Damage sustained by both, but it's RAZER there, pinning Behemoth down towards the CPZ, the corner patrol zone, the flags of St. George on the top of Behemoth. An all-English final. RAZER turns to come on the attack, now dances away from Behemoth. Spins again. Behemoth just waiting. RAZER to drive itself onto the front scoop and trying to lift but missing. Now RAZER going around the side panel again to crunch down and peel away that side plate. The Pritchard boys trying to control Behemoth away. Keep your distance. The sticker says, well, they haven't kept their distance from RAZER. And who's the winner here? What a wonderful final. Early on, RAZER flipped up and over by Behemoth onto the flame pit. I thought it was out there. I thought they'd lost control and power. Very slowly trying to right themselves. Couldn't get up and over. Finally did. Took time though. They were alive. And from now on in, RAZER dominated the final, causing problems and causing damage to Behemoth. That's the main damage sustained by anyone in this final. Behemoth tried to flip it, it didn't work. So back came RAZER on the attack. Again, this time on the other side. Similar fate though, crumpling and crashing. What a final.
So, we won the first World Championship, a great feeling. Then, the second World Championship comes along. Can we do it again? Well, maybe, but the first round is seriously tough. We've got 3 opponents in there in a 4-way melee, and they could easily gang up on us. So let's see what happens.
3, 2, 1.
The ref bot gets out of the way in the middle. RAZER immediately dances after the Revolutionist there. No centre of gravity there in the middle of the arena. Diotoir and Flensburger power, a little bit cursory, glance at each other. But already the stateside hopes of the Revolutionists begin to crumble because RAZER's beak and crumpling jaw, claw, call it what you might, is after the stars and stripes. This is a little bit like a slow dance. Meanwhile, the other competition between Diotoir and Flensburger power, look at that, crumpling into the Revolutionist. The beak of RAZER, the reigning world champions. The Revolutionists might run into concrete with no damage, but not into the RAZER. Flensburger power being counted out. They've gone automatically already. Dear oh dear, RAZER now after Diotoir and crumbling into the very heart of the Irish boys. Irish eyes are not smiling. In fact, there's only one left. RAZER picks it up. Part bird, part reptile, sleek and mean and cool looking RAZER. The team of Bournemouth, Matilda's flywheel spinning Flensburger power. We're into the last seconds of countdown now. Flensburger power have long gone. RAZER is the most dramatic and most effective so far. Surely it will go through to the judges to decide who goes through. Will it be the States' hopes of the Revolutionists? I doubt it. Will it be a Diotoir? Will it be RAZER?
We got through that round, but only just. Now we're up against Tornado. You may notice they've taken off their rotary weapon, they've put a shovel on the front. But do we work them over? We sure do. And that time when we had them dangling over the pit and we were trying to drop them off, oh, that was just crazy. My heart nearly came out at that battle.
3, 2, 1.
Razor on the left, Tornado coming in on the right-hand side with push and shove. Razor with the claw, the beak, the jaw, call it what you like. Pushing and shoving Tornado in towards the arena sidewall and getting an early grip there. Tornado trying to back away. Tornado's weaponry's in on the arena sidewall. It can't get it into play. And there's the great beak of Razor. They do not mean to give up their title lightly here. Oh, isn't that painful looking? Oh, a slice is nice of Tornado. Tornado being puffed out of it here immediately by Razor's hardened point cutting in, piercing Tornado hopes. Over very early, I would suggest. Tornado away, but what damage can they cause now? And again, they've got the wrong side to Razor. They simply cannot get that cutting 2,000 RPM spinning disc into play. Razor, good control and driving by Ian Lewis. We're seeing the Tornado team, they're up against it. They've gone into the side release button, down goes the pit, but I think Razor have this semi-final really under control. They've got Tornado by the scruff of the neck, and it's going to be over imminently, and that is hugely impressive once again by Razor. And are they once more to be crowned world kings? They are celebrating in style, a flourish. They have lifted Tornado overhead. And finally, the release, when it comes, will be a merciful one for Tornado. Into the pit they will go eventually, I'm sure, when Razor finally decides to let them go. Right now. Goodness me, that was frightening.
And now we've found ourselves in the final up against Drillzilla. Imagine this, we've got a crowd of 2,000 people screaming, Razor, Razor. Our nerves are going crazy. We've got a machine that is huge. And what tactics are we going to use on this one?
This machine was great. It had pushed everybody out of its way. Well, the only thing you can do with this is wrestle it. Me and Simon, we were talking to each other backstage. Vinny was looking in. We didn't quite know what to do. Wrestle it. That was the only way it was going to happen.
Wrestling the machine, you're also wrestling your nerves. And that walk up the stairs to the podium where we control Razor from is like the scariest thing ever. It's as much as we can do to keep our legs working.
From the United States of America, Drillzilla. From the United Kingdom, Razor. Roboteers, stand by.
From Silicon Valley, Drillzilla, Dave and Bruce Hall, Chris Callai. And from Bournemouth, Razor with Vinny Blood there on the right, Ian Lewis and Simon Scott. And for the House Robots, Sir Killalot in that arena to do battle. Mighty. And alongside our Knight of the Realm is Sergeant Bash. 10 Shun World finalists.
3, 2, 1.
It's Razor, first on the attack, dancing around, trying to get that crushing weapon in, immediately on the urethane rubber. Tires, feet, call them what you will, of Drillzilla. They thought that was the weak Achilles heel. That's the way they're trying to puncture the USA dream, the Californian dream of Drillzilla, the team from San Jose. You can see there the 8 feet on that side, set up on 2 camshafters. They're made of rubber, and Razor there trying to stop the rhythm of Drillzilla, and all the aggression and control and style is from Razor should it go to the judges. Drillzilla needs to get those 3 sharpened flutes on the drill to pierce the side of Razor. Razor know they are not going to get through the 10mm thick Drillzilla armory. It's a very tactical battle we're seeing. Killalot in the CPZ can come in and cause damage with the mighty crusher there, look. In goes Killalot, in goes Razor. Drillzilla simply can't get out using the 20 horsepower motors on either side to power up to 40 miles an hour, but they can't get up, can they now? They bash into the rev pod. This is the World Championship final. You're seeing the Razor team there.
They're on top, trying to hold on to their championship. Again, they've got Drillzilla in their clutches. Turning, twisting, you're seeing there the arena floor being really chewed up in patches. The ref bot has a glance. The last 10 seconds of the World Championship final are underway. Their ref bot joining in with the counting as well. For me, it has to be Razor. It'll go to the judges, I think. Razor on top at the end, though.
We'd like to take this opportunity to thank all the people out there who've helped Team Razor over the years, and we'd also like to say a big thank you to you guys out there. All those fans who've supported us over the years have got us to where we are today. Thank you very much.
We won 10 trophies and 2 World Championships, some fantastic memories of Robot Wars with Razor. Fantastic stuff.
Remember, we're the guys with the original 9-ton hydraulic crusher, and if you think you've got a robot tough enough, then come and find us in the Robot Wars arena.
Please remember, building robots is dangerous and shouldn't be attempted without great care. For more information, or if you'd like to build a robot, you must first join the Robot Wars Club. Send a cheque or postal order for £12.95 to Robot Wars London, W1A3AR. If you build a qualifying robot, your membership fee will be refunded. For more information, or if you'd like to come and see the amazing spectacle of Robot Wars being recorded live, call our hotline or visit our website.